The closest they were drilling to me was in a place called Dimmock, Pennsylvania, about 40 miles from the New York-Pennsylvania border in the Susquehanna River Basin. A company called Cabot Oil and Gas from out of Houston had drilled over 40 wells in just under a few months. It's a small place with no major highways, a place where you could easily forget the world, forget yourself, disappear completely. I was going there because I'd heard a lot of complaints, and because I'd heard the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection had said that everything was going fine. The story of Dimmock starts with a frantic series of distress calls from Pat Farnelli. If Dimmock had a town square, she'd be standing in the middle shouting for help.
Everywhere there's a gap in the trees, there's a well. There's like 10. Sometimes it bubbles and hisses when it comes out. So I highly recommend that you do.
Want to drink it?
I won't drink it. When Cabot and them came in to get the water and they were telling me it was okay to drink, I said, well, here, go ahead and drink it. And they wouldn't drink it. There were days when 4 kids were out of school sick. Everybody was sick, including me. We were all, our stomachs were really, really acting up, couldn't handle eating anything for over a month, right? And then Jean, next door, talked to me at church and said, did you notice anything funny about your water? Our well's gone bad. The Mays, they have bad water, and they've got a newborn in the house.
My next trip was just up the road to Ron and Jean Carter's. They had a gas well in their front yard. Shortly after the well was drilled, their water started bubbling and fizzing. It turned out to be natural gas.
I told them that I wasn't happy, that our water was good before they started drilling, and when they got done it was bad. We said, asked if we could prove that it was because of them. And my wife asked the guy if he could prove that it wasn't. He wouldn't talk to her anymore. We lived here 40 years, and the water never had a problem with the water. And they drilled. After they drilled, the water was bad.
My next trip was just up the street. Norma Fiorentino's water well exploded on New Year's Day.
You're kidding. This is my daughter-in-law calling. She's saying there's a special on at noon.
DEP says Cabot Oil and Gas has polluted more than 1,000 water wells drilling for natural gas
front yard.
in Susquehanna County.
I've lived next to these people for 30 or 40 years, and we're good friends, all of us, and we just have the same problem.
DEP, Cabot guys were out here, and I was talking to them about it, and I says, you guys said this water's safe for my mother to drink. I said, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get you a glass of water. And they all put their head down, DEP and everybody put their head down and said they wouldn't drink it.
Mason, where's your helmet? Helmet, no bike, understand? Anthony, you should have a helmet on too. Go find one. And in the beginning of November, our water turned color. It started tasting funny, like metallic-y, and then it turned brown, and then it looked like mud. Cabot sent Quantum Labs out to test it, and the guy looked at it and said, don't drink it, don't shower in it, don't do your laundry, don't do dishes, don't do anything in it. And they
so this is your water well down under there.
Mm-hmm. And they put that pipe thing on it.
And they're venting gas off through this.
Yeah.
The other thing that was bothering Debbie May, was something that was happening with her animals.
Sorry, they don't come outside.
Their hair was falling out.
See how she's gone.
And one of her cats was projectile vomiting.
We have 3 cats that it's happening to.
And then when you said this to the DEP, what did they tell you?
They told me I clean with too much Lysol.
Uh-huh.
And I told one of Cabot's attorneys about it, and he told me that it comes from telephone poles.
So has the cat been out playing with the telephone poles?
The cat doesn't go outside, ever.
So his hair's falling out?
Yeah. And he's losing weight.
Since basically the same period of time?
Hi. Our water was perfectly fine. And like right after we started drilling, like propane and stuff like that all went in it. But at one point we could actually like light it on fire. Put the thing in, shake it up in the jug, and put a match around and just light it up.
What's going to happen to my kids how many years from now? You know, and then, oh, well, it wasn't their fault. You know, they didn't do it. They didn't pollute the water.
From the cases of Pat, Ron, and Jean, Norma, and Debbie, it was clear that something had gone terribly wrong in Dimmock. But there was something else. I kept hearing reports of a family that could supposedly light their water on fire a family who wasn't speaking to the press. I wondered why, and I wondered if I could talk my way in. They didn't want their faces to be on camera, so I ended up taking pictures of their feet. They did show me their water samples, however. They told me, listen, I know you want to see us light our water on fire, but we can't do it right now. Basically, we've capped our water well. We no longer use it, and we're afraid to turn it on. If we turn it on, it's possible that it could explode or catch our house on fire. So even though it's a pretty spectacular thing, we can't do it for you. I could feel myself getting sucked in deeper and deeper and deeper. And then I got a phone call.
Not gonna do anything, nobody cares, because of the holy dollar that's rolling in.
Yeah.
And it's wrong. It's wrong, I don't care. You're taking a big risk yourself going around doing what you're doing. Money's not worth it, and I'm worried for my life, and I'm gonna be honest with you. So,
I went across the road to see if I could interview the people who'd called me. Or maybe just to say hi. Known as produced water. The water that comes back up out of the ground that's contaminated with the fracking fluids being dumped illegally onto fields and into streams. And I'd heard of workers who had chemical burns on their hands and faces. And here I was, being handed a jar of a mysterious, yellowish, brownish liquid. I needed more information, so I called the number again. I mean, all the things that you said about that, the jar that you gave me, just got me kind of curious. And, you know, without naming any names, I don't know anything about anything, but was that was being dumped out in some place that it wasn't supposed to be, like a stream or a field or something?
yes.
All right, and that's why it's important to find out what's in there?
Yeah.
All right, and if I were to be able to analyze that, would you think that'd be a good thing?
Yes.
I was starting to compile a list of things that happened in Dimmock. Water trouble, health problems, hazardous explosive conditions inside the house, destruction of land, lack of confidence in state regulatory commissions, a feeling of having been deceived, a feeling of powerlessness, dead or sick animals, the difficulty of obtaining good information about gas drilling, and the idea that there's a cover-up taking place. In other words, a total loss of normal life. Who knows if they're right? I don't. It's all speculation. But these citizens certainly felt as if they'd been wronged and that there was no one for them to complain to. On my way to drop off the jar at a water testing lab, I said goodbye to my $100,000. Even more worrisome to me was the knowledge that everyone all around me had been getting these leases in the mail, and a lot of them had leased already. One thing was resoundingly clear. If the industry's projections were correct, then this would be the end of the Catskills and the Delaware River Basin as we knew it. And it would mean a massive upheaval and redefinition of all of New York State and Pennsylvania. But there was no drilling in my area yet on either the New York or the Pennsylvania side of the Delaware. New York State had commissioned its Department of Environmental Conservation to do an environmental impact study, and the Delaware River Basin Commission, which controlled my area of Pennsylvania, had not decided whether or not it wanted to allow gas drilling in sensitive watershed areas. It stirred up something else in me, the need to find out what was going on. Was Dimmock an exception or the rule? And how was I going to find out? Was I actually going to become a kind of natural gas drilling detective? Okay, I guess.